传家之宝，纽约人寿传家之宝，耶！
今天非常感谢我们大家来参加我在喜来登大酒店2楼举办的Professional Career Opportunity。我的团队呢，今天非常开心。我们的目的就是为了就是说更好的服务社区。完了，希望大家给我们大力的支持。这里就是我的团队，谢谢大家。
今天很开心，在杰西卡的领导下，我们整个团队组织了一个小型的 party。那么纽约社区呢，也来了很多的精英和老板们。希望通过这次的感受吧，可以领略到我们纽约人寿真的是这么强大的一个纽约人寿公司。希望我们这个团队呢，也能够齐心协力为社区服务好。
晚会现在开始了。那么纽约人寿，我们是 Wall Street， 我们是金融 service 的 company， 我们也是 Main Street， 我们刚好在 Main Street， on the Main Street， 说明什么呢？说明我们是美国主流的 company。第三 ，community。我们所有的经纪人在法拉盛、在 Brooklyn 都是 Chinese， 所以说我们的人来自于华人社区。我们成才之后也是要服务于华人社区，我们就是要在美国主流的金融理财公司和美国的华人社区搭建一座这样的桥梁，更好的为社区服务。这就是我的开场白。好 ，Long Island General Office， 我们的大老板总裁 John Curry 给我们大家讲话。
Thank you very much. I'm very happy to be here. As a matter of fact, it's a privilege to be here. Unbelievably exciting. And I'd love to tell you a little story of when Jessica just said the Long Island General Office of New York Life. And you might think, well, we're in Flushing, right? Why do we say Long Island? Well, personally, I think it's a great story, and it's the reason why I'm in front of you today. Back in 2003, back in 2003, I was the manager running the Long Island office out in Melville, exit 49. And I had a young female, brand new manager, and a young female agent that said, there's like there's no companies and, or real competition in Flushing, to work in the financial industry. And I really honestly didn't know much about Flushing. I was born in Staten Island, family grew up in Brooklyn, but I really grew up out on Long Island. And I didn't know much about Flushing. So I got in the car with her. Well, she got in my car, I wasn't going to drive with her. I drove, and we came to Flushing. And we looked at some space. Seemed to be a lot of travel agencies at that time, when I recall. And a lot of people working in very small offices, but everybody working so hard. Everybody walking so fast, all around the streets, just feeling this action that was going on. I was like, wow, I like this. I like this action. And we found the space. Maybe 8 advisors in there totally. And 4 of them would be in a cube. I think we might have only had 1 office plus like little cubes. The long story is, that was 2003. We started with 1 manager, female, 1 female agent. Today, we have 350 agent advisors, and our organization here is by far the largest Chinese financial services branch in America, not just for New York Life. And it's all because of these people here. So let me share that a little bit. I also want to mention, because I'd be remiss if I didn't, about Hong Miller. She has been an incredible agent, as many of you, I bet you, many of you of our clients. And again, we were blessed to have her go and take a leadership role to expand her practice. She was literally, in her first year in leadership, 2 years ago, the #1 manager in all of New York Life. And the way that you become #1 is that you hire the best people and you train them the best. And majority of those best, because she only gets the credit because of her agent advisors, and many of them are in this room. So I applaud you all for being #1 in the entire New York Life. Congratulations. So I was here to discuss a bit about New York Life, and hopefully you feel the local vibe. There's a lot of support here. There's nothing like coming to Flushing for me to get excited, because there's no harder working people than you. And I also, by the way, have a brother that is a professor of architecture at Tsinghua University, which is known as like the best university, at least he says it's the best in the world. He's an architect professor, and he is fluent in Mandarin now, so that's always good. I should learn a little more, I think. But anyway, New York Life. Many of you, of course, you've heard of New York Life, I believe, but this company's only been in business for 177 years. Only 177 years. And this company is AAA rated across the board. What I mean by that is, New York Life literally has the highest financial credit ratings of any company in any industry. And some people will say, well, Amazon or Apple, today's earnings came out, they did well, right? Tesla, what about Facebook? These are such strong companies. Yes, they are AAA rated, they're very strong. But they've only been in business for 30, 40, 50 years. It's like a wink of an eye. New York Life is 177 years of strength. And it's a company that is so focused on individuals, our neighbors, our community, okay, small business owners, which we're very lucky in this area because there are thousands and thousands of small business owners that work to take care of their family, but typically don't take care of themselves. They work to build a business, but often forget about themselves. And then 30% of Fortune 500 companies are clients of New York Life. And an interesting fact is even during COVID, December of 2020, when everybody, December of 2020, when everybody was still incredibly nervous, rightfully so, New York Life bought the group benefit side of the strongest health insurance company in the industry called Cigna. So if any of you have heard of Cigna, many of you probably have Cigna, it is truly known as, if not the best name brand for health insurance. New York Life put all their group benefit side. And here's why. Not because we want to be more in the health insurance industry. It's because the administrative and the group side of the business. See, the 401k business, the retirement plan business, the deferred compensation business, the group disability business, the group long-term care business, and the group life business. Believe it or not, there's minimal competition in this country in group benefits of group life, group disability, and group long-term care. The companies that dominate are companies called like Gerber Life, right? Gerber, like baby food, Gerber baby. They're a very, very strong group company. But the big name brands that you would think that would be in the group marketplace, and everybody in here, of course, is worth millions and millions of dollars. Even if you're only 25 years old and you're only starting your career, you're probably worth $10 or $15 million right now. Why? We call that human capital value. If you add up what your projected earnings are throughout your life, it's millions and millions, especially with inflation being as high as it is right now, right? So the greatest asset is protecting wealth. And if I ask any of you, what's the most important, or better yet, who are the most important people in your life? I bet you would say your family. And if your family's the most important people in the world to you, what do you think would be worse for your family? If you die too soon, or if you live too long? Most people say die too soon. But both answers are right. And if you said live too long, that makes me happy. You know why? Because New York Life dominates the retirement marketplace. 70% of all the business we do as agent advisors are focused towards retirement. Helping you set a goal and a deadline. Where are you? Where do you want to be? How old do you want to be when you retire? 65. How old are you now? 40. So I have 25 years to get there. I'm 56. Okay? If we both, if myself and the women here, we both retired at 65, on the average, let's just say we retired at $70,000, right? $70,000 a year. That's what our income needed to be. You realize that most women here have to save upwards of $700,000 to $1 million more than a man does. Why? Very simple math. 70,000 times 10 is 700,000. Women are living over 10 years longer than men. So if you're living 15 years, you have to save $1 million more than the average man does, right? So, and often women, not right, but have made less money. The beauty of New York Life is everybody earns what they're worth. It doesn't matter, everybody earns what they're worth. So when you want to die too, not want to die too soon, live too long, that's a big part. Now I know we have some attorneys in the group.
Yeah.
I bet you, I'm not asking, I don't want to see hands, but I typically ask people, if your family's the most important people in the world to you, and if I said what's worse, dying too soon or living too long, you said dying too soon would be worse for your family, I agree. Here's my next follow-up question. Then why don't you have an up-to-date will? As a matter of fact, why don't you have a will at all? And with all due respect, many of you in this room do not have a will. But you will tell me you love your family. And if I ask you who's going to make your medical decisions if you were to get disabled or couldn't speak, you'd probably say your wife, your husband, your mother. No, they're not. They can't unless you have an up-to-date will, a living will, right? Unless your health proxies are up to date. What about guardianships? The most special gift in the world is the gift of a child. Do you all have guardians chosen to be the guardian for your child? In writing, on paper, with a notary, where somebody knows where that piece of paper is. 95% of Americans do not have an up-to-date will. Hardly anybody has guardianships, but the children are most important. If you die or disabled, do you know who chooses who the guardian of your child's going to be? I know many attorneys in here, you know. The state of New York and a social worker is going to choose. These are the things that we do at New York Life. It's not pushing a product. It's finding out who you are really, what really matters to you. We utilize life insurance, no doubt. Life insurance to me is the greatest love letter. It's the most unselfish gift you could ever give. My dad died when I was 12 years old. Like many of you, he was in the banking business. He was only 39. President, chairman, and CEO of a bank on Long Island. Died of a heart attack when he was 39. Went to work one day, never came home. Do you know 4 months later, we had no home to live in? No home. My dad had no life insurance, no financial security for his family. My dad loved my mother, he loved his children, but he was working. There must have been no one like the people in this room that my dad liked, trusted, and respected that asked to meet with him to talk about how much he loves his family. Nobody got him to take 5 minutes. Okay? That's not the reason I'm in this business for 32 years, but it is the reason, no question, why I run the largest financial firm. Is because of my dad's story and making sure to do my best to help everyone in every community have the opportunity to have financial security. Okay? To give them a choice to have financial independence. At least ask them if they want to or not from someone they like, trust, and respect. And the beauty of our organization is we're very diversified. I mentioned, I don't speak fluent Chinese. I honestly wish I did. That's a hard language to learn when you're older. Okay? So the only way I can really get in the Chinese market is we need to hire Chinese. Respected Chinese people in the community. This is a ridiculously important profession. Just so you know, doctors know a lot about their clients, attorneys know a lot about their clients, accountants know a lot about their clients. They gave me the information. But the only way you would give me any of that information is you got to like, trust, and respect me. And we have to earn that at New York Life. But often a lot of attorneys might not know your height and weight. That would be a weird relationship, right? As a gentleman said, if you're an attorney, you know somebody's height and weight, that might be a little bit of a weird relationship. Okay, the doctors don't get your tax returns, right? CPAs don't know your medications and your illnesses, but we do. We do. That's why you have to be such a special person in the community to do well in what we do. And that's really who we look for. So whether it's life insurance, annuities, mutual funds, long-term care, disability insurance, health insurance, and managed money, where you have an issue, they get advice from another doctor. If you have a problem with your elbow, they'll refer you to the elbow doctor. You got a problem with your knee, you need a brain surgeon, you need a heart surgeon. We have different people in our offices to be able to help. With that, I think you said 20 minutes. I have no idea how long I went. I don't want to overstay my welcome. I am very excited to be here with you, and really, I appreciate all of you being with us here today and supporting the local organization that we have here and making it just grow, because that's what our mission is, okay? To just help everybody in the community have the opportunity to have financial security. With you, we can accomplish that. Thank you very much for your time.
下面我就简单介绍一下我们是怎么样培养出这个金融理财顾问的我就简单说一下那纽约人寿呢成立1845年它是美国财富500强的第67名我们是 Mutual Company 全美国800个国家我们是第1名那么就是说从公司的层面上我们有一系列的培训制度比如说这么说吧纽约人寿进来之后，一个新的经纪人前3年，纽约人寿要花20到25万美元，这个数字我原来都不敢相信好，那就是说从公司的层面上呢，我们有一系列的培训制度，比如说我们每一个办公室都有就是我们说是老师了就是说我们汉语的我们这里就有3个。那就是说我们学习产品啦还有长岛分公司的 home office 都有培训并且我们公司还有那种800电话来帮助客人和帮助这个经纪人我们最特别的是我们有 Chinese market 因为我们有Chinese market 所以说我们好多比如说材料都是汉语的完了之后培训都是汉语的好还有一个最关键的是 APG 这个叫什么呢？叫高级顾问团队。我觉得对我们所有在座的都非常有用。为什么？这个是纽约人寿 hire like a lawyer and accountant 他们非常 professional 来帮助我们的客人，帮助我们的经纪人去解答法律上和税务上的问题这就是我们的 APG Group 同时我要强调的，因为我们 Chinese like study 所以说呢 New York Life 这个大学我们用纽约人寿大学New York Life College 那我们所有的培训都是纽约人寿大学在培训我们。虽然我们不是 after college graduate come to New York Life, but we are here 同时呢，我不知道大家知不知道有 American College 就是说 American College 是在美国，你要想做金融的话，你要上这个大学，学出来的 certificate 完了你才能有这个职称比如说像会计你要学 CPA lawyer 你要学什么那我们纽约人寿呢是和 American College 是联网的，就说我们在纽约人寿学的知识学的 credit American College 是认可的说这一点我觉得对中国人来讲我是觉得非常受益好了，那下面呢就是说这么说吧，整个纽约人寿的一系列培训就是要把我们培养成 financial advisor。那我以前在中国呢是医生我做了5年小儿内科医生，后来呢在中国我就开始自己做生意所以说呢我在纽约人寿我做了5年的经纪人完了之后呢，那我会用我所有的知识还有我就是做经纪人的经验来培养我的经纪人，我是发自内心的你们一看我一讲这个我很激动真的是我真是发自内心的要教我的经纪人，不要光是一个 sale， 你要用知识来服务所有的人，你要用你的知识来给大家做规划，而不是 sale 另外一个呢，我也认为我做了经理之后呢，我愿意就是说什么呢？服务华人社区，为大家为华人找到更好的工作因为我们第一代移民呢都是做那种 labor job 那我愿意让我们的华人来做这种金融理财的服务，做这种工作所以说呢，就让大家有更多的机会怎么样呢？找到好的工作找到属于自己的平台，完了实现财务自由最后就是实现我们中国人在美国的美国梦好，谢谢大家下面呢，我们有2个代表比较特色的第一个是向静文
尊敬的各位嘉宾、各位女士们、先生们，大家晚上好。我是向静文。首先要感谢纽约人寿给我这个机会，来和大家一起分享我的感受。今天站在这里呢，跟往常还是有点不一样今天呢，我不是主持人，而是代表纽约人寿。那我就来说一说我为什么会加入纽约人寿吧。来美已经有20多年了，一直用艺术之长活跃在舞台上，服务华裔社区，为华侨华人带来艺术上的享受。现在不同了，是代表纽约人寿来服务社区，服务于华人和华侨。其实对我而言呢，纽约人寿呢，我是很早就非常的熟悉了。我个人呢也是非常对纽约人寿也是非常的认同的。它既是主流社会的大公司，跻身500强，确实是有实力的这么一个互惠的公司。之前呢是由于很多原因吧我这个愿望没有实现，现在呢终于成了纽约人寿的一员了。加入纽约人寿呢有2个方面的原因。首先呢，我要感谢我的经理 Jessica。 是他的工作热情、待人的态度和真诚打动了我，是他告诉我，纽约人寿也是服务社区的，通过你们的精心打造和设计，制定出理财规划，来帮助大家，使大家能够得到更好的理财管理，你就是一个成功人士。听了他的一席话呢，也让我心动。那么第二个呢，就是纽约人寿呢，它既是一份工作，又是一个广结善缘的桥梁，它能够接触到许许多多的人。在座的很多都是我的朋友哈。生来呢，我就是一个喜欢结交朋友的人。那么有了这份工作呢，既能巩固老朋友，也能结识新朋友，生活的圈子呢，也逐渐的在变大。朋友多了，生活的质量也随之提高了，心情也特别的开朗。这样的人生，谁人不羡呢？所以我通过专业的培训和学习，现在也可以独当一面了。最重要的是可以服务于人了。今后我将用我的真诚和诚信以及我的专业知识，为大家做好服务，为社区做好服务。今天我就简单的说那么2句吧，感谢大家的光临，谢谢。
我的一个经纪人哈，他非常的努力，他叫何婷。他在3个月之内就拿到了喜人的成绩哈，那我就不多说了，让他来讲。何婷，
大家好，我是何婷，很高兴站在这里代表 Jessica 团队，然后代表我们团队在这边发言。我是2020年加入 Jessica 团队，我在3个月之内达到了别人1年需要达到的业绩。然后我在下一年达到了 PC， 这是什么呢？就是刚才我们老总讲的，法拉瑟、布鲁克林加起来一共有300多位经纪人，只有10人达到了 PC 这个 level， 我就是其中1名。我很荣幸代表 Jessica 的团队，作为这10人当中的1人，也为我们团队争光。像很多新移民一样。我是14岁来到美国，我跟着我的父母做生意，从小在认识 Jessica 之前，我从来没有想过我自己会从事保险业，因为我生活不需要，让我做保险业。就是在认识 Jessica 之前，我根本没有想过说我会成为一个保险从业员，是他改变了我对保险从业员的看法，他的态度，他的认真，他的学习，让我觉得我也可以向他学习，通过不一样的平台给大家更好的帮助，也提升我自己。我一直要求我儿子，他4岁，我一直要求他要进步，跟所有中国人父母一样，都望子成龙，我也一样。我希望我在要求我孩子进步的同时，我自己一起成长，我做到了。我希望有很多跟我一样的，在自己舒适圈里面一直待着的人走出来。